High in the Andean mountains, amidst cloud forests and rugged terrains, roams a graceful survivor, the Odocoileus Goudotii, the Andean white-tailed deer. This resilient species navigates some of the most challenging environments, playing a vital role in the highland ecosystems. Join us as we explore the life of the Andean white-tailed deer, delving into its evolutionary history, ecological significance, and the challenges it confronts. Deep in the misty Paramo highlands of Colombia and Venezuela roams a unique species of deer that has captivated biologists and nature enthusiasts alike, Odocoileus Goudotii, commonly known as the Merida brocket or Andean white-tailed deer. This elusive cervid, adapted to life in the high-altitude ecosystems of the northern Andes, represents a fascinating example of evolutionary adaptation and ecological specialization. Odocoileus Goudotii belongs to the genus Odocoileus, which includes the well-known white-tailed and mule deer of North America. However, this South American species has evolved distinct characteristics that set it apart from its northern relatives. As we delve into the world of O. Goudotii, we'll uncover the remarkable story of its evolution, examine its unique physical traits, explore its ecological role in the Paramo ecosystem, and investigate the behaviors that have allowed it to thrive in this challenging environment. The Merida brocket deer plays a crucial role in its high-altitude habitat, influencing vegetation dynamics and serving as prey for the few predators that inhabit these lofty realms. Yet, like many species adapted to specialized habitats, O. Goudotii faces numerous challenges in the modern world, from habitat loss to climate change. Join us as we embark on a journey to understand this remarkable creature, from its ancient origins to its uncertain future in a rapidly changing world. Through the story of Odocoileus Goudotii, we'll gain insights into the unique biodiversity of the Andean paramos and the importance of preserving these fragile ecosystems. Evolutionary history. The evolutionary history of Odocoileus Goudotii is a tale of adaptation and specialization that spans millions of years. To understand its origins, we must first look at the broader history of the deer family, Cervidae, which emerged in Eurasia during the early Miocene epoch, approximately 20 million years ago. The genus Odocoileus, to which white-tailed deer belongs, is believed to have originated in North America around 3.5 million years ago. The ancestors of modern Odocoileus species then spread southward into Central and South America during the Great American Interchange, a major biogeographic event that occurred when the Isthmus of Panama formed, connecting the previously isolated continents. Odocoileus Goudotii likely diverged from its North American ancestors sometime after this migration, adapting to the unique conditions of the high Andean environments. The exact timing of this divergence is still debated, but it's estimated to have occurred within the last 2 million years, coinciding with the uplift of the northern Andes and the formation of the Paramo ecosystem. The Paramo, a high-altitude tropical montane ecosystem found above the tree-line in the northern Andes, presented a unique set of challenges and opportunities for the evolving deer population. The harsh conditions, including low temperatures, high UV radiation, and low oxygen levels, drove rapid adaptation in the ancestral population of Odocoileus Goudotii. Comparative genetic studies have shown that Odocoileus Goudotii is most closely related to the white-tailed deer, Odocoileus virginianus, of North and Central America. However, its long isolation in the Paramo has led to significant divergence, both genetically and morphologically. This isolation has been reinforced by the sky island nature of the Paramo habitat, with populations often separated by lower elevation forests and valleys. The evolutionary journey of Odocoileus Goudotii has been shaped by the glacial cycles of the Pleistocene epoch. During glacial periods, the Paramo ecosystem expanded to lower elevations, potentially allowing for greater connectivity between populations. In contrast, interglacial periods like the current one have seen the Paramo contract to higher elevations, isolating populations, and potentially driving further specialization. Recent molecular studies have begun to unravel the fine-scale genetic structure of white-tailed deer populations across its range. These studies suggest that there may be significant genetic diversity within the species, reflecting both historical processes and more recent factors such as habitat fragmentation. The evolutionary history of white-tailed deer is not just a story of the past but an ongoing process. As climate change alters the distribution and characteristics of the Paramo ecosystem, this specialized deer species faces new selective pressures that may drive further adaptation or, potentially, extinction. Morphological description. Odocoileus Goudotii, the Merida brocket deer, exhibits a suite of morphological adaptations that reflect its specialized lifestyle in the high Andean Paramo. While sharing some characteristics with its North American relatives, it has developed unique features that set it apart. The Merida brocket is a medium-sized deer, typically smaller than the North American white-tailed deer. Adults usually stand about 60 to 80 centimeters at the shoulder and weigh between 30 to 50 kilograms, with males generally larger than females. This relatively small size is an adaptation to the Paramo environment, allowing for more efficient thermoregulation and easier movement through dense vegetation. One of the most distinctive features of Odocoileus Goudotii is its coat. The deer sports a thick, woolly pelage that provides excellent insulation against the cold temperatures of its high-altitude habitat. The coat color is generally a rich reddish-brown, darker than many lowland deer species, which may aid in camouflage among the reddish-brown vegetation of the Paramo. The underparts are typically lighter, often with a whitish belly. Unlike many deer species, white-tailed deer does not exhibit significant seasonal changes in coat color, reflecting the relatively stable year-round temperatures of the equatorial Paramo. However, the coat may appear darker and shaggier during the wet season. The head of Odocoileus Goudotii is relatively small and pointed, with large, expressive eyes adapted for low-light conditions. The ears are proportionally smaller than those of lowland deer species, an adaptation that helps reduce heat loss in the cold Paramo environment. One of the most notable features of male Odocoileus Goudotii is their antlers. Unlike the large, branching antlers of many deer species, the Merida brocket has simple, unbranched spikes. These antlers are typically short, rarely exceeding 10 centimeters in length. The simple antler structure may be an adaptation to moving through dense vegetation and conserving energy in the nutrient-poor Paramo environment. The legs of white-tailed deer are relatively short and sturdy, well suited for navigating the uneven terrain of the Paramo. The hooves are small and pointed, providing excellent traction on rocky and muddy surfaces. Like other deer, Goudotii has scent glands on its legs that are used for marking territory and communicating with other individuals. The tail of the Merida brocket is short and inconspicuous, unlike the prominent flag of the white-tailed deer. This reduced tail may be another adaptation to the cold environment, minimizing heat loss. Internally, Odocoileus Goudotii shows several adaptations to high-altitude living. Its respiratory system is highly efficient, with larger lungs and a higher density of red blood cells compared to lowland deer species. These adaptations allow the deer to extract maximum oxygen from the thin air of the Paramo. The digestive system of Odocoileus Goudotii is adapted to process the tough, fibrous vegetation of the Paramo. Like other ruminants, it has a four-chambered stomach that allows for efficient extraction of nutrients from plant material. However, the proportions of these chambers may be slightly different from lowland deer, reflecting the unique composition of its high-altitude diet. Ecology. Odocoileus Goudotii plays a crucial role in the ecology of the Andean Paramo ecosystem. As one of the largest herbivores in this high-altitude environment, it has a significant impact on vegetation dynamics and serves as an important link in the Paramo food web. The diet of Odocoileus Goudotii is primarily herbivorous, consisting of a variety of Paramo plants. The deer feeds on grasses, sedges, and the leaves and shoots of small shrubs that are characteristic of the Paramo vegetation. It has a particular fondness for the leaves and flowers of Espalicia species, commonly known as frailjones, which are iconic plants of the Paramo ecosystem. This selective feeding behavior influences the composition and structure of Paramo plant communities. By preferentially consuming certain plant species, white-tailed deer can alter competitive relationships between plants and influence successional processes. The deer's grazing also helps maintain the open character of the Paramo by preventing the encroachment of woody vegetation. Odocoileus Goudotii also plays a role in seed dispersal. Seeds of various Paramo plants can pass through the deer's digestive system unharmed and be deposited in new locations, potentially aiding in plant colonization of new areas. This is particularly important in the context of climate change, as it may facilitate the upward migration of plant species as temperatures warm. As a prey species, Odocoileus Goudotii is an important food source for the few large predators that inhabit the Paramo. The primary predator of adult Merida brockets is the puma concolor, while fawns may fall prey to Andean foxes, Lycalopex culpeus, and large birds of prey. This predator-prey relationship helps regulate both deer and predator populations in the Paramo ecosystem. The Merida brocket also interacts with other Paramo wildlife in more subtle ways. For example, its selective grazing can create patches of shorter vegetation that benefit smaller herbivores and ground-nesting birds. Additionally, parasites and commensals that live on or in Odocoileus Goudotii form part of the Paramo's biodiversity. Odocoileus Goudotii's adaptation to high-altitude living makes it an important indicator species for the health of the Paramo ecosystem. Changes in the deer's population or behavior can signal broader ecological shifts, making it a valuable species for monitoring the impacts of climate change and other environmental pressures on high Andean ecosystems. The ecology of white-tailed deer is intimately tied to the unique characteristics of the Paramo environment. The harsh conditions of this ecosystem, including low temperatures, high UV radiation, and frequent mist and rain, have shaped the deer's physiology and behavior. In turn, the presence of Odocoileus Goudotii has influenced the evolution of many Paramo plant species, some of which have developed chemical or physical defenses against herbivory. Habitat and behavior. Odocoileus Goudotii is primarily found in the Paramo ecosystems of the northern Andes in Colombia and Venezuela, typically at elevations between 3,000 and 4,500 meters above sea level. This habitat is characterized by open grasslands interspersed with shrubs and distinctive espalicia plants, often shrouded in mist and subject to extreme daily temperature fluctuations. The Merida brocket has adapted its behavior to the challenges of this high-altitude environment. It is generally crepuscular, being most active during the twilight hours of dawn and dusk. This behavior allows the deer to avoid the intense UV radiation during the middle of the day and the extreme cold of the night. During its active periods, white-tailed deer engages in feeding, social interactions, and territory marking. The deer moves slowly and deliberately through its habitat, often pausing to listen and scent the air for potential predators. When alarmed, it can bound away with surprising agility, using its knowledge of the terrain to quickly disappear into the vegetation. One of the most interesting behavioral adaptations of Odocoileus Goudotii is its solitary nature. Unlike many deer species that form herds, the Merida brocket is usually found alone or in small family groups consisting of a mother and her offspring. This solitary behavior may be an adaptation to the patchy distribution of resources in the Paramo and the need to avoid detection by predators. The breeding behavior of Odocoileus Goudotii is not well understood due to the challenges of observing these elusive animals in their remote habitat. However, it's believed that breeding is not strongly seasonal, likely due to the relatively stable year-round conditions of the equatorial Paramo. Females typically give birth to a single fawn after a gestation period of about 7 months. Fawns are born with a spotted coat that provides camouflage among the dappled light of the Paramo vegetation. They are able to stand and walk within hours of birth, an important adaptation in an environment with few safe hiding places. The mother will leave the fawn hidden in vegetation while she feeds, returning periodically to nurse. Communication among Odocoileus Goudotii individuals involves a combination of vocalizations, scent marking, and body language. The deer has several vocalizations, including a high-pitched alarm call used to warn of danger. Scent marking is accomplished through rubbing of the face and antlers on vegetation and urination on scrapes in the ground. The Merida brocket shows remarkable adaptations to the cold Paramo environment. During particularly harsh weather, it may seek shelter in dense vegetation or rocky outcrops. The deer is also known to use natural hot springs found in some Paramo areas, possibly as a way to warm up and as a source of minerals. Home range size in white-tailed deer is not well documented but is likely to be relatively small due to the concentrated resources in the Paramo ecosystem. However, the deer may undertake small-scale altitudinal migrations in response to seasonal changes in resource availability or weather conditions. Human activities have increasingly influenced the behavior of white-tailed deer. In areas where hunting pressure is high, the deer has become more nocturnal and skittish. Habitat fragmentation due to agriculture and road construction has also affected movement patterns and gene flow between populations. Conclusion. Odocoileus Goudotii, the Merida brocket deer, stands as a remarkable example of evolutionary adaptation to a unique and challenging environment. From its ancient origins in North America to its current status as a specialized inhabitant of the Andean Paramos, this species embodies the power of natural selection to shape life in extreme conditions. The story of Odocoileus Goudotii is not just one of biological interest, but also of ecological importance. As a key herbivore in the Paramo ecosystem, it plays a crucial role in shaping plant communities and supporting predator populations. Its presence or absence can serve as an indicator of ecosystem health, making it an important species for conservation efforts and ecological monitoring in the high Andes. However, like many specialized species, white-tailed deer faces significant challenges in the modern world. Habitat loss due to agricultural expansion, mining, and infrastructure development threatens to fragment and reduce its already limited range. Climate change poses an existential threat, as warming temperatures push the Paramo ecosystem to ever higher elevations, potentially eliminating suitable habitat altogether. Conservation efforts for Odocoileus Goudotii must therefore focus not just on the species itself, but on the entire Paramo ecosystem. Protecting these unique high-altitude environments will not only ensure the survival of the Merida brocket, but also preserve countless other species and maintain crucial ecosystem services such as water regulation for lowland areas. The study of Odocoileus Goudotii also holds valuable lessons for our understanding of evolution and adaptation. Its specialized traits and behaviors offer insights into how species can adapt to extreme environments, knowledge that becomes increasingly relevant as global climate change reshapes ecosystems worldwide. As we conclude our exploration of this remarkable deer species, we are reminded of the incredible diversity of life on our planet and the intricate relationships between species and their environments. The Merida brocket deer, with its woolly coat and simple antlers, may not be as widely known as its North American cousins, but its story is no less fascinating or important. In the misty heights of the Andes, Odocoileus Goudotii continues its ancient dance of survival, a living testament to the resilience and adaptability of life. As we face the environmental challenges of the 21st century, the fate of this unique deer and its Paramo home will serve as a poignant indicator of our ability to coexist with and protect the diverse and fragile ecosystems of our planet.